Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play the Novelist, the third day of IndieMas, and thank you for joining us. The Novelist is an interactive RPG-style game with a heavy dose of spying on people. And under Steam, it's listed as an action game, which it couldn't be more farther away from this game. This game doesn't really have much action in it. It's more of a casual game, and that's not a bad thing. I have no idea how that happened, but the game was created by Orthogonal Games, and it released in fall 2013. In The Novelist, you play kind of a telepathic, teleporting ghost. Do I have your attention yet? I hope I do, because that's literally what you play. Before I continue speaking, I'm going to get into the game itself so that way you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. I have played the game before, so I'm actually going to skip the tutorial and just hit new game, and I'll tell you about the game as we play. In the game, you play a specter, a ghost, what have you, whatever you want to call it, and a new family moves into the house that you're living in. And essentially what you are there to do, why I don't really understand, is you choose to help this family out with their problems. And the story kind of evolves from the decisions that you make, learning from the clues that you gather from the house, and, well, reading their mind, hence the entire telepathic ghost thing. Right. But this is it. This is me, essentially. This is my ghostly ass. And the controls are absolutely beautiful and smooth. The transitions from light to light are really well done. And you can explore the house freely, but when you do that, it kind of has an interesting aspect to it because you're able to be seen. People could walk up to you, a person could spot you and be like, holy crap, it's a ghost or something, I guess.
Paul, good to hear from you. Listen, things are taking a little longer than expected. I feel good about this one, but I haven't quite brought some of the threads together. It's just
That's another thing, it has incredible voice
not a
work.
lack of ideas. This is the most complicated book I've ever tried to write, and let's just say I have a newfound respect for guys like Dickens and Joyce who can juggle 10 threads at once without getting lost. I'm figuring some of this stuff out the hard way, I guess you could say. Anyway, the outline I sent you is still good, those are still the beats, those are still the themes I plan to explore. I'll keep you posted. Dan.
Huh?
I was spotted twice by the kid. Anyways, like I said, the game has a stealth element to the game. You need to hide, kind of, and figure out what the family's thinking, what their desires are, and what it is they want. In the game, you have the ability to, I guess you could say, well, screw with people.
Whoa,
yeah, and kind of make lights flicker in that manner, so that way you can draw their attention away from things and do what it is you want to investigate. Also, you can read their minds, and if you approach them from behind, you can enter their memories. Good lord, that's an old-ass TV, by the way. What year does this take place in, anyways?
We'll have to find out.
Are there any other kids?
And while you're in the memories, you really don't have to hide as much. You can just kind of explore, look around for clues, and most of the time they'll be glowing, if I remember correctly. And yeah, see, they'll be glowing kind of like this. There you go. There's him and his sad stuff, and Daddy with the giant mustache. Which, by the way, I would like to change this game from The Novelist to The Mustache, because the guy has the most epic mustache ever.
Is that it?
So there you have it. You kind of got to go around exploring, read his people's thoughts, trying to find clues about the
That doesn't
family.
happen at home.
And eventually,
Hey, bud.
as you gather more and more clues, which I will go around the house trying to gather here while everyone's downstairs. Come on, let's go. Let's go upstairs. Okay. Here's a board game. There's a picture of Dad being frustrated and his epic mustache. And he's like, Daddy, I want to help. And Daddy's like, screw you, son. And there's the toilet. God, I hope there's not a memory in the toilet. I really hope there's not a memory in the toilet. And to be honest with you, I got a weird... I like this game a lot, but I get kind of like a Shining vibe from this game. It really... It kind of reminds me of The Shining. It's a writer moving out to the middle of nowhere to finish a book, and he moves in with his family, and things are... But it's like a nicer Shining. Anyways, I hope this reached you before leaving the summer. I know we went over this in my office, but I think Tom is a wonderful child, and I'll feel better putting my recommendations in writing. Children's development at different speeds, and Tommy shows no signs of serious learning disorder, so most of the important thing is to be patient and supportive. Make sure he does his reading exercises each day in a calm, loving environment. Make sure not to show disappointment when he struggles, which he will at first. Show encouragement when he succeeds, as self-confidence is critical at this age. If he fails to make progress with the exercise I've included, you may want to take him to the local pediatrician for further recommendations. I hope this is of some help. I look forward to seeing Tommy this September. Mr. McGillen. So Tommy obviously has some sort of learning disabilities. And I kind of skipped through this, but this was notes that, I forget his name, the father wrote on his book. And this will be vital and important later.
Barb, how are things? Is school still taking up all of your time, or is anything new going on? We've been up here for a week or so, and I can already tell it's going to be great for painting. There are hardly any distractions, and this house has a room they called the conservatory in the brochure, which really just means it has a lot of windows. Whatever they call it, it's a great space for working. The second floor blocks most of the northern light, but I'll manage. I took Tommy down to the beach today, and you should have seen how excited he was. I wish I'd brought my camera. He kept looking back up at the house like he couldn't believe it was so small from down there. He seems to have taken to this place really well so far, which is such a load off our minds. We didn't know what to expect, but so far, so good. Anyway, let me know how things are going.
There you go.
Yours.
So basically, you get the idea. Everyone in this game kind of aims to pull at your heartstrings as much as possible and get you to react emotionally. In the game, it's about exploring the human psyche, and I dig that. I get that. So we're going to continue exploring here, getting more clues.
Writer's block. I can't believe I just wrote that. Writer's block. There, again. Those two words are apparently the only damn thing I can write. I don't think it's been this bad since high school. Mr. Holder's class, an essay about Faulkner. Dan Kaplan, little-known author of Tramer's Way and Windsong, has run out of steam. Closed my eyes last night and saw a literary register article about myself. That was the first line. Paul wants 3 chapters next week, and so far I've got 2,000 words so sloppy I can barely read them. I cannot blow my schedule. Paul
Another thing I like about this game is how eerie the music is.
Why did this happen as soon as we got here? This was supposed to simplify things, but so far it's been nothing but staring at a blank page. Maybe a walk will help. Or a long drive.
Drink.
Or a drink.
I vote for drink. 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 Yeah, so it's kind of an interactive narrative experience, which is why I said the genre is somewhat difficult to define, because it really is. There is a lot more to this game than just saying it's simply a interactive story. There's a lot going on. I'm going to try to enter this chick's memories. There we go. I entered her memories.
I think we've done a good
Oh,
job.
and this is
of
where you
putting
find
our
out they don't
happy faces
exactly
for
like each
Tommy.
other. Surprise,
If
surprise.
he knows there's something wrong, he's not showing it. We told him this is just a fun family vacation, and he seems to like it here so far. But this might be it for Dan and me. Neither one of us has said the word yet, but I know it's right there under the surface. We've been dancing around it. I can't even bring myself to write the word here. Writing it would be almost as bad as saying it, because once it's there, it becomes real, a thing we have to deal with. I'm not ready for that yet. We agreed to make this a fresh start. I meant it, I think he did too. Now we just have to treat each day like a new beginning.
So like I said, the game is about exploring the human psyche. And while the family is fictitious, and obviously the problems can be maybe a little bit dramatized, I think we've all kind of been to these problems, had these thoughts, these things that go through our minds. And I really think the writer, the guy who made this game, the studio developer, I'm sorry, really nailed that very well. I think we've all been there with these kinds of thoughts and these kinds of problems. And this is why we play games, ultimately, is to kind of escape these kinds of problems. But this puts you in a very interesting position where you can affect these people's lives and see how you can help them and shape their lives to be better, and what will happen. And then if you don't like the outcome, you can do it over again and over again and over again to see the different outcomes. It kind of has replay value. And I kind of like that about the game.
Me too.
I promise.
I think that gives it a lot of replay value, and it makes the game very interesting, to say the least. So there we go. We've read her mind, read the kid's mind. Now it's time to read Daddy's mind. Where's Daddy at? Daddy? Daddy? Oh, there you go. Daddy's coming. Let's read Daddy's mind. Daddy has some issues we need to discuss.
Do you think coming here will help?
It has to.
Like I said, I love the eerie. It's like a Beetlejuice, but nicer. It's just very eerie and kind of creepy.
Tommy rode into town with me today. He saw some kids his age playing on the swings at the park, and I could tell he wanted to go play with them. It got me thinking, did we swing the pendulum too far just to get him away from those bullies? Kids can bounce back quick sometimes. What if this is the worst thing we could have done? Then he asked how Daddy's book was going, and without even thinking, I said, "Great, my man." Felt awful right away. It's a white lie, sure, but why not be honest? When he was younger, he was just a bundle of physical needs, but now he's like a mental, emotional sponge. He's around Linda and me all the time, and I can see him changing every day in 1,000 small ways. That scares the hell out of me. What am I teaching him with a white lie?
You know, it's cool, man. It's just don't fret about it that much. You need to write a whole page about it. But as you can tell, they kind of freak out more and more. Where's my notebook? I know I had something good. And this is kind of where you make your decision as to what you want to affect and how you want to affect it, or go about affecting it, as it were. Did I go into this room? This is the conservatory type area. I don't think I did.
It's such a crazy
No, I did
thought,
not.
the three of us all alone in this house all summer. I never thought we could afford a place like this, but the price surprised us both when we saw it. I wonder if there's something wrong with it.
I'm being
Maybe it
quiet
has
so
a
you guys can
raccoon
hear
problem
the
or a
narrative,
toilet that
obviously.
backs up. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Oh, and
Plus,
I'm
the voice
painting
work is
again.
very, very well
got
done,
set
I
up
think.
Today. I felt a buzz right away.
It doesn't feel
So much
forced
time at
or
work. I haven't
acted.
had
It
space
feels
like this in
very
forever,
natural.
Probably since I left the studio. I went straight into a new piece today, got lost, looked up to see it was 2 hours later. I think this new one has promise, though I still have some rust to shake off. Speaking of which, I'm going to go check on Dan and see if his new office is doing anything for him. He's pretty frustrated, but he has to figure something out soon, or this place won't be any different than home.
Alright. So there we go. There's her. And did I read her mind? Did I find out what she wants? Yeah, she wants a bottle of wine. She wants to get a little drunk. Mommy wants a drinky poo. Okay, I guess the kid's upstairs. So it's. And I love the way you jump from lamp to lamp. It really does make me feel ethereal. And they really do make me. I know it's not that type of game, and I understand that it's not The Shining, but it really does do a good job of making me feel like a ghost. It makes me feel ethereal in nature. And it's really neat the way he pulled that all off. So there we go. We have the 3 goals. 3 decisions, I guess you could say. You can either choose a notebook, a bottle of wine, or Racing Roger, which is what all 3 of them want. Now, because I haven't spooked any of them, if you get caught several times by them, eventually you can't really help, I think, either of them. There's like a compromise decision, I guess you could say. Like you drink some wine and then you go play a little bit of Racing Roger, or you work on your book and then you go play Racing Roger, or you play Racing Roger, and you get the idea that you can do kind of a compromise of both decisions. But to do that, you have to find the item of choice. Like, for instance, here's Racing Roger. The bottle of wine is downstairs, and the notebook was the one behind the cabinet. And then the story evolves based off the decisions you make, and it heads into the next chapter, and so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm just going to choose Racing Roger. See, we'll just find compromise with them in the next chapter. Press escape to continue playing, or you choose Tommy's outcome and finish the chapter. I chose Racing Roger. Even though I think that's probably a dumb decision. Everybody knows if mommy's happy, everyone's happy. You gotta choose the wine bottle. But that's just me, That's just my thoughts. And at this point it becomes nighttime and you can kind of explore the house and whisper into the guy's ear, and then he kind of does what you tell him to do. The next day, I guess, or the day before. I don't really understand it, really. But he does what you basically tell him to do. And it also allows you to explore for more clues and find out more about the family, how they came to be here, and discover more about the house also. I'm going to try to... Oh, there we go. There's a clue on the table there. Let's get to it. It says, from the desk of Harold Baxter, January 15th, 1948. Well, that gives this a date. Jeez, no wonder that TV's so old looking. Mr. Lowry finally gave in and agreed to let me inspect the house. I believe he simply grew tired of hearing me ask. Although I think deep down he knows I'm correct, property like this simply doesn't change hands every year or two without a reason. I noticed the pattern when I was cleaning out old files, and this house kept coming up. It's changed owners 7 times in the last 13 years. I began digging, and not a single one of the sales was financially motivated. People just seemed to keep deciding that they'd rather live somewhere else. Which doesn't add up in my mind. The view is striking. The installation and privacy alone make it a great property. The remoteness can't be an issue. Certainly, no one who can afford this kind of home needs to work for money. It's a mystery, but that's why I'm here. I guess they're referring to you, by the way, the ghost, as it were. And this is basically the painting room. I was just in here. There's nothing in here to explore. And yes, you get the idea. You kind of spy and explore and kind of peep on these people. There's Tommy. I already chose his book. Let's see if I can show you how the compromise works. Do I have to find the second item? No, maybe. Select the noble will choose Dan's compromise for this chapter. You can only select 1 compromise per chapter. I will choose that. And it lets you gives like a little noise to let you know that it worked. And this is all just more of backstories. I'm going to skip this so that way you can get an idea and you guys, of course, go get this game on Steam. It's available. It's an amazing game, guys. It's fun to play. And if you're looking for something that's kind of a break from action and explosions and looking to something kind of really explore your emotions and these people and kind of that type of game, this is definitely the one you're going to want to get. So anyways, now that we've made our decisions, we go over to our friend here. Oh my. We whisper in his ear. We whisper in his ear like so. And then we kind of see the decisions that get made because of it. Dan couldn't stop thinking about how important it was to start off the summer on a good foot with Tommy, who was ecstatic. Dan knocked off early and set up a game of Race and Roger on the coffee table. They laughed, played for 2 hours, and Dan made sure to let Tommy win most of the time. It was a happy start to Tommy's summer. Huzzah, good for Tommy. Dan spent the next few days forcing his way through scenes he knew weren't good enough just to hit his deadline. But the day before sending the work, a thought came to him from nowhere, telling him to check behind the bedroom desk for his notebook. Though he didn't have a chance to rewrite everything, he did have time to type out an outline and include it with the package, which smoothed things over with his agent. And Mommy was depressed and drank a lot. Which is essentially the decision you're going to see here. It's one of those games where damned if you do, damned if you don't. But life can be like that sometimes, you know? So in the end, the Novelist is about people and the decisions they make, and you get to see them evolve, and what you choose for them shape their lives. So enjoy playing this game. Like I said, I highly suggest you to get this game. You can play playing a ghost or god or a ghost god, and the best part is it has quite a bit of replay value, like I said. So go get it. It's on Steam. The next giveaway is I'm giving away Shelter, which is a game you might have seen me play before on one of my other indie games of the week. It's about where you play a mother badger and you have to protect them, and as they move through the forest. So I'm giving that away. Leave a comment down in the comment section, and winner will be randomly chosen at the end of IndieMas. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Novelist, and we will see you next time for the next hidden secret indie game for IndieMas Day 4. See you then.